This story is titled, "When I Told My Aunt I Couldn't Afford a Wedding Gift, She Snorted and Said, 'Sell that ugly little car, if anyone wants it.' So I did, to her ex-husband, for $1. I made sure he knew exactly where she'd be that day. Now he's coming. My uncle's suspicious, she's not answering my texts, and my cousin's crying, 'Please tell me this isn't your fault.' It is. I'm typing this in my car, parked outside a grocery store parking lot at 10:42 p.m., eating gas station pretzels like it's a meal. I was supposed to be at my cousin Lexi's wedding rehearsal dinner tonight. Instead, I'm here. Not because I forgot or couldn't make it, but because I walked out of my aunt's house with shaking hands and a smile that was barely holding together. I didn't even start the car for 20 minutes. Just sat there staring at the dashboard thinking, did that actually just happen? Let me rewind a bit. My family's always had this unspoken pecking order. Aunt Rachel, my mom's older sister, 58, has always been the queen bee of the extended family. She throws the parties, hosts the holidays, and acts like every decision needs her seal of approval. She's not evil, at least not in the way villains are in movies, but she's the kind of woman who weaponizes politeness. Think Stepford Wife meets Regina George, but with a Pinterest addiction and wine breath. Her daughter Lexi, 26, is getting married this weekend. Lexi and I used to be close, like climb trees and watch horror movies behind our parents' backs, kinda close. But somewhere around sophomore year of high school, the gap widened. She went full debutante and I went full not that. Still, we kept in touch, mostly through group chats and awkward family BBQs. I always thought we had at least a nostalgic bond. I was wrong. So when the wedding invites came out, I didn't expect to be part of the bridal party or anything. I wasn't shocked I didn't get a +1. But what did knock me off my axis was the text I got from Aunt Rachel last week. "Hi, sweetie. Just confirming your attendance. Lexi would love a gift that reflects your heart. A little bird told me you've got that car just sitting around. Something thoughtful like that would be so appreciated." Let me be clear. The car she's referring to is a dusty old Honda Civic from 2008. It's not fancy, but it's mine. Paid for it myself over 4 brutal summers working 2 jobs and Ubering on the side. It's been my lifeline, the only thing keeping me mobile while juggling a job and night classes. So I reply, politely, that I'm strapped right now. Rent's due, work's been slow, and I genuinely can't afford a wedding gift beyond maybe a card or something small. That's when she calls me, not Lexi, Aunt Rachel, and with a laugh, a literal snort, she says, "Sell that ugly little car, if anyone even wants it. Don't tell me you'd rather hoard junk than celebrate your cousin's biggest day." I didn't say anything. I just let the silence sit there. She hung up like she'd dropped a mic. That was 3 days ago. Since then, I haven't slept right. I've been reliving every damn family event where I showed up, helped out, bought decorations, babysat screaming kids, cleaned up puke on New Year's. I'm the reliable one, the helper, the guy who always drives grandma home. And now I'm a junk hoarder for not giving up my car for their Instagram perfect wedding. I didn't plan revenge. I didn't sit there plotting. But when my phone buzzed this morning with a random message, "Hey, heard you've got a Civic. Still selling?" And I saw the name, Aunt Rachel's ex-husband. Something in me just clicked. I should have deleted the message. I should have laughed it off and blocked his number. But instead, I sat there staring at the notification like it was some kind of divine sign from the universe. Uncle Greg, my Aunt Rachel's ex-husband, Lexi's dad. I hadn't seen his name pop up in over 5 years. Not since the divorce. The nasty, quiet kind of nasty, where no one screamed but everyone ended up with scars. The family never really talked about it, but everyone picked sides. Aunt Rachel made sure of that. She told us he chose chaos over family, which I guess meant he wanted to retire early and live in a trailer park by the beach with his girlfriend who liked tie-dye and conspiracy podcasts. Whatever. All I knew was, after the split, Greg got ghosted by most of the family. Even Lexi stopped mentioning him. But me? I liked Greg. He was the only one at family dinners who'd ask about my job, not mock it. He once helped me change a tire in the middle of a snowstorm without making me feel stupid. He also, coincidentally, loved my car. He said it reminded him of the first car he ever bought in the 90s. Said mine was cleaner than any damn dealership special. We'd bonded over it during a long, boring Easter when Lexi was still in high school and I was hiding from everyone in the driveway. So yeah, when I saw his message, "Hey, heard you've got a Civic. Still selling?" I replied. I didn't say yes at first. Just asked how he'd even heard. He said, "Your aunt has a big mouth." Said it at brunch last week with some mutual friends. Didn't realize she meant that Civic, though. I told him. I wasn't planning to sell, not really. He just said, "Well, if you change your mind, I'd take it. I've got a spot for it. Let me know." That was it. That should have been it. But that night, I walked into the kitchen at my friend Mika's place. I've been crashing there since the fight with my parents. And Lexi had posted a wedding update on Instagram. Big staged photo of her and Aunt Rachel holding up the dress. Caption, Can't wait to walk down the aisle with my ride or die. And in the comments, Aunt Rachel, only the best for my girl. The trash takes itself out, now I'm blessed. I didn't need context, I was the trash. So I called Greg. I didn't sell him the car for market price. I sold it for $1. Because sometimes petty is poetic. He didn't even question it. He just said, "You sure?" And I said, "Just one thing, I want you to drive it to the wedding. Not park nearby, not sneak in. I want you to pull up, windows down, music playing. Make sure she sees you. Make sure everyone sees you." There was a pause. Then Greg just chuckled. "What time should I be there?" Update 1. So, I did it. I sold the car for $1 in cash. I even made Greg sign a bill of sale just so it was airtight. Not that he cared. He probably would have signed in crayon with a smile on his face. We met up at this sad little strip mall halfway between our places. Neutral territory. I handed him the keys, the paperwork, and a folder with the full maintenance history because, yes, I'm that person. He looked it over, whistled low, and said, "Damn, kid, she's still clean." I said, "Not anymore. She's yours." And then I told him where Aunt Rachel would be. I told him Lexi's wedding wasn't some secret garden affair. It was public. It was Instagram to hell and back. Aunt Rachel had been posting about it like she was the one getting married. Final tasting today. Hope the cake lives up to the dream. And spa day with my best girl, Osh, mother of the bride, and my personal favorite. We rise by lifting others, unless they're dead weight. The schedule was practically pinned to her forehead. Ceremony at 3, family photos at 4:15, reception by the fountain at 5. She even posted the venue tag. All I had to do was give Greg a time, a place, and a little smile. He asked one question. "You sure you want me to do this? It's going to stir some shit." And I said, "Greg, I'm not sure of a lot right now, but I'm sure she earned this." He nodded. All right then. Fast forward to today. I didn't go to the wedding. Wasn't invited. Instead, I stayed home, made pancakes, and waited. At 3:28 p.m., my phone buzzed. A text from my cousin Ryan, Lexi's younger brother. "Dude, what did you do?" Then another. "Uncle Greg just rolled in blasting Fleetwood Mac in your car." He waved at Nana. Nana waved back. Aunt Rachel looked like she saw a ghost and a tax auditor at the same time. I waited. Then the photos started. Greg, standing by the Civic, arms out like he just won The Price is Right. Lexi in the background, mouth open mid-scream. Aunt Rachel being physically held back by Lexi's fiancé. One last text came from Ryan. Just 3 words. "This was art point." I haven't heard from Aunt Rachel, or Lexi, or anyone else from that side of the family. But Greg sent me a selfie from inside the Civic. "Still drives smooth. Thanks, kid." "You're welcome, Greg." I don't know if I feel better yet, but I do feel lighter. And yeah, I'm fully aware this isn't over. Because Lexi's wedding reception ends at 9, and my phone has been quiet for too long. I didn't plan on hearing from her. Honestly, I figured she'd go nuclear in the group chat or call my mom to scream about how I'd ruined her daughter's special day with my relentless need for attention. That's her move. Make a disaster sound like your fault for being inconvenient. But what I didn't expect was Lexi herself calling me. Not texting, not sending a voice note or hiding behind Aunt Rachel's venomous thumbs. Number. At 9:17 p.m., while I was halfway through reheating leftover noodles and watching some trashy dating show, my phone rang. Her name on the screen made me freeze. Lexi, Bridezilla. That's how I had her saved. I almost didn't answer, but I did. And the first thing I heard was wind and sniffling. She didn't say hello, didn't say my name. She said, "I'm in a fucking porta potty behind the fountain because my mom's losing it and Uncle Greg won't leave, and now Grandma's asking if they're getting back together, and I just, please tell me this isn't your fault." I didn't say anything at first, just listened. Then she goes, quieter this time, "You always said you weren't like them, that you didn't want drama, but you brought him here. You sold him that car. That was calculated." She wasn't wrong. So I said, "Yeah, it was me." Silence. Then she laughed. Like that dry, bitter laugh people do when they're completely overwhelmed and trying not to scream. Of course it was. "God, my mom said you'd pull something. That's why we didn't invite you." And that right there, that's what broke the damn ceiling. I said, "Oh, Lexi, you didn't invite me. You can stop pretending it was about my potential behavior. Your mom treats me like the help, and you let her. You both wanted to make a point, and I just made one back." She goes quiet again. Then she mutters, "You sabotaged my wedding." And I just snapped. You know what sabotaged your wedding? Letting your mom plan it like a royal parade, letting her pretend your dad doesn't exist, letting her bully everyone into thinking I'm trash for not giving up the one thing I own so you can have fancier centerpieces. That sabotaged your wedding, Lex. She sniffled hard and whispered, "You're a coward. You couldn't even face us." I said, "No, I just didn't want to show up empty-handed to a place where I'd be treated like garbage. So I gave you a gift. Something unforgettable." She hung up, and yeah, I sat there with my cold noodles, heart racing, hand shaking a little, because I knew I'd lit a match and dropped it on a pile of dry history. But you know what? I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. The call from Lexi haunted me for about a day, just enough to mess with my appetite and make me reread our old texts like some ex who didn't realize he got dumped months ago. But then the guilt began to curdle, turned into something sharper, colder. Because while she was calling me a coward and crying in a porta potty, I remembered all the other times she let her mom corner me into being the family punchline. Like the time Aunt Rachel threw her a 21st birthday bash with a champagne wall and a chocolate fountain and made me valet cars for her friends. Not hired help. Me. Because you're good at parking in tight spaces, right? It's not like you're doing anything important. Lexi laughed, said, "You're such a team player." Or the Christmas when I bought Lexi a Bluetooth speaker she'd mentioned wanting, and she gave me a mug that said, "Better luck next year." So yeah, the guilt wore off. And that's when Derek, Lexi's fiancé, called me. Didn't expect that. He and I have barely spoken beyond nods at family things. I always assumed he was just another pretty face with a LinkedIn addiction. But his name popped up on my phone 2 days after the wedding like a plot twist I wasn't ready for. "Hey, this is Derek. I know it's weird I'm calling, but can we talk?" I was like, "We're already doing that." He sighed. "Okay, look, that car thing, honestly, kind of baller. I mean, it ruined the day, but in a movie ending kind of way." I didn't know whether to laugh or brace for a threat. He went on, "Lexi's not talking to anyone. Her mom is spiraling. Greg won't stop texting her trying to meet for coffee. And Rachel, she's saying you're unstable and always have been." "Classic," I muttered. Then he dropped the real bomb. "Look, off the record, I'm starting to think Rachel is dangerous, controlling. I love Lexi, but I see it now. The way she twists everything, makes her daughter choose. You got any, I don't know, proof?" I nearly choked on my water. Because, oh sweet Derek, do I have proof? Receipts? Emails? Venmo charges? A whole Google Drive folder labeled Rach Rage from when she tried to cancel my mom's birthday because it conflicted with her mani-pedi. I said, "How deep you want to go?" He said, "Just deep enough to make Lexi see she's been living in a curated nightmare." I paused. Then I said, "Check your email in 20 minutes. Because if Derek was about to become the unlikely hero in this Greek tragedy of a family, I was more than happy to hand him the sword. So I sent it. 20 minutes turned into 17 because I couldn't help myself. I had that folder ready. I've been curating it like a hobby. Not out of malice, just out of survival. You don't live under Aunt Rachel's reign for 2 decades without learning to screenshot, record, and timestamp every offhand threat disguised as a joke. And honestly, I thought Derek might flinch. Maybe send a, "Whoa, this is too much, man," and ghost me. But instead, he replied, "Holy shit." Then, 5 minutes later, did she really threaten to fire the photographer because he called her ma'am? And my personal favorite, 10 minutes after that, "Tell me she didn't Venmo request you $72.13 for Lexi's bridal brunch share, even though you weren't invited?" Yes, Derek, she did, and I didn't pay it. That night, he and I had a full-on 2-hour call, him pacing in what I imagined was their Pinterest-perfect living room, me sitting on Mika's couch, laptop open, sipping tea like some chaotic librarian of family dysfunction. He asked for everything. Dates, names, patterns. I told him about the time Rachel made me cancel a job interview because she needed someone to wait for a delivery from Crate and Barrel. About how she once told Lexi, in front of me, "If you ever end up like him, I'll know I failed as a mother." Derek went quiet after that one. "Why didn't you ever say anything?" I said, "Because when I did, she said I was being too sensitive, and Lexi backed her. Every time." That shut him up for a while. Finally, he sighed. "I think I'm marrying the wrong family." I said, "You're marrying Lexi?" And he said, "Exactly." He thanked me, promised to keep my name out of it, for now. Said he needed to talk to Lexi, that she needed to see the bigger picture. I told him, "Just make sure she understands this wasn't revenge, it was a reminder of who gets discarded and who always gets a seat at the table." He said, "Yeah, I get that now." We hung up, and for a few hours I felt peaceful until the next day, when I woke up to 17 missed calls, 3 from my mom, 2 from Aunt Rachel, 1 from Lexi, and 11 from my cousin Vanessa, who never calls unless someone's in the hospital or Aunt Rachel is throwing a tantrum. Her voicemail just said, "Hey, call me. Now your uncle's asking questions, Rachel's locked herself in her room, and Lexi's crying. Please tell me this isn't your fault." Spoiler alert, it is. Update 2. It's happening. It's actually happening. I thought I had time, like days, maybe even a week before the fuse burned down. But turns out, when you light a match under a decades-old pile of denial, dry lies, and curated family portraits, that shit goes up fast. It started with a group text, Aunt Rachel's usual space. She renamed it Wedding Debrief, yes, seriously, and kicked it off with a 7-paragraph manifesto about how betrayal always comes dressed in familiarity, and how Some people can't stand to see others happy. No names, but she might as well have tagged me. The messages came in like aftershocks. Vanessa, my cousin. Wait, are you talking about me? My mom. This is not the place, Rachel. Lexi. Can we please not do this here? And then Rachel again. Funny how quiet the guilty get when the truth starts circulating. My uncle, Rachel's husband, bless this man. What truth? Why won't you answer your phone? I stayed silent. I didn't want to fan the flames. I wanted to watch them burn themselves. But then Vanessa called, full panic mode. She opened with, "Please tell me this isn't your fault." I didn't even try to lie. "It is." Long pause. Then, "Oh my God, Rachel's losing it. She hasn't come out of her room. Lexi's crying in the guest bathroom. Your uncle's been calling around trying to figure out what evidence Derek keeps talking about. Did you actually send him stuff?" I said, "I didn't send anything. I shared the truth." Another pause, then she whispers, "What did you give him?" "Everything." There was a rustling noise like she sat down hard, then dead serious. "You don't understand. Rachel's reputation in this family? It's like untouchable. She's the backbone of every holiday, the keeper of all the old photos. People call her before they call their moms." I said, "Maybe it's time someone slipped a disc." She didn't laugh, just said, "They're going to come for you." I said, "Let them. I've got more where that came from." I could hear Lexi crying in the background. "You don't get it," Vanessa whispered. "You didn't just blow up the wedding. You cracked the foundation. Derek's talking annulment. Your uncle's asking if Rachel's been lying for years, and no one can get her to open the door." She paused again. "Do you regret it?" And for the first time since this whole thing started, I didn't hesitate. No, because I may be the villain in their story now, but I've always been their scapegoat. And finally, they're seeing what that costs. You ever watch a house of cards fall in slow motion? That's what the family group chat looked like last night. Timestamp 3:47 a.m. Aunt Rachel, or maybe Rachel's ambient alter ego, dropped a screenshot of Derek's email. Subject line, "For Lexi, so you know." Attached, a PDF, all 47 pages. Every screenshot I gave him, every receipt, every time-stamped threat, passive-aggressive memo, and wild-ass Venmo request Rachel ever sent me. She posted it with zero context, just the screenshot, and then, "This is what betrayal looks like. Hope you're proud." My name. Silence for 20 minutes. Then my uncle, yes, still married to Rachel, barely, wrote, "Is this all real?" Then a flurry of replies. Vanessa, "Wait, she really charged him for a birthday brunch he wasn't invited to?" Lexi, "You said he was unstable. You didn't say you were charging him rent for folding chairs at my engagement party." My mom, "This isn't what family does to each other." Me, finally breaking the silence. "Yeah, I've been wondering that for 26 years. Then, chaos. Cousins picking sides. Someone, I won't name names, but it rhymes with Aunt Linda, started a side chat to pray for healing. Rachel left the group, rejoined, and then tried to remove me. But she's not the admin. My uncle is. And he renamed the group chat Honesty Hour. By 4:30 a.m., people were bringing up old wounds, wedding snubs, Christmas gift, inequalities. A time Aunt Rachel allegedly told someone's wife she dressed like Target's clearance rack. From 2015, it was a bloodbath. I went to bed around sunrise, exhausted but weirdly satisfied. Around noon, I woke up to a text from my mom. Just one sentence. "You might have actually killed Thanksgiving. Honestly, good. If Thanksgiving was just going to be another long table where I get the folding chair at the kids' end, carving the turkey while Aunt Rachel tells everyone I still can't commit to anything, then yeah, let it die. Let it all die and maybe something honest can grow in the ashes." Derek hasn't called again. Lexi hasn't texted. Rachel's Facebook has gone dark, which, if you knew her, is practically apocalyptic. But me? I had a slow morning, ate pancakes again, watched the Civic drive by on Greg's Instagram story with the caption, "Still purrs like a kitten." And I smiled. Because sometimes burning bridges is the only way to light your own damn path. It wasn't over. I thought it might be. After the group chat detonation, the overnight drama fest, and my mom's now iconic "You killed Thanksgiving" text, I figured we'd all go quiet for a bit, lick our wounds, let the ashes settle. But no, because this morning, my uncle, yes, Rachel's husband, called me. First time in, God years? He was the kind of guy who always felt like a placeholder in the family photo. Present, but not accounted for. Mostly known for grilling stuff badly and talking about golf as if it were religion. So when my phone lit up with Uncle Ron, I almost didn't answer. But I did, and he sounded tired. Like the air had been sucked out of him. Like someone had finally removed his battery pack and he realized he'd been sleepwalking through a sitcom version of hell. He said, "I read the whole thing. All of it." I didn't say anything. Then he added, "You didn't make any of that up, did you?" "No," I said. "Every word is hers. I just saved the echoes." He was quiet for a long time. Then came the words I never expected. I think I knew. Somewhere deep down. I just didn't want to deal with what it meant if I admitted it. I sat there, stunned. Then he said, "You know, I always wanted a son." I never said that out loud, but I always figured maybe if we had one, things would be different. That maybe she'd soften. I didn't know what to say, but he continued, "I just wanted to say thank you for finally showing me what she really is, and I'm sorry I never stepped in. Not once." There was something raw in his voice, like he meant it. I swallowed. Said, "You're welcome. And I'm sorry too, for blowing it all up." He actually laughed. A low, broken chuckle. "You didn't blow it up, kid. You just lit a match. The whole place was already soaked in gasoline." And then, like a damn movie scene, I heard something crash in the background. Glass, maybe ceramic, maybe a blender. Then yelling. Distant, but high-pitched and furious. "Ronald, are you on the phone with him? You better hang up right now or so help me." He sighed. "I should go." I said, "Yeah." Before he hung up, though, he said, "Take care of yourself. And hey, thanks for giving Greg the car." It was poetic as hell. Click. Later, I found out from Vanessa that Rachel did throw a blender at the wall, missed him by inches. Lexi apparently locked herself in her old room and won't come out. Rachel's been saying things like, "They've all betrayed me and I'll rise again," and "Nobody appreciates everything I do around here." Which, honestly, she might be right, because what she did around here was finally exposed. It's officially over. No more texts, no more flaming group chats, no more screenshots flying like shrapnel through the family Wi-Fi. The noise has died down, but not because it's resolved, because the house finally collapsed. Thanksgiving is canceled. Officially. Aunt Rachel sent out an email, not a message, an email, with a header image that said, "Pausing to heal," and a 6-paragraph essay about emotional sabotage, fake loyalty, and needing to rebalance her inner vibration. Swear to God she ended it with namaste. My mom hasn't spoken to me directly. She posted a meme on Facebook about kids these days biting the hand that feeds them, which got exactly 1 like, from Aunt Linda. But she didn't block me, so I'm counting that as growth. Lexi? Yeah, she's gone dark. Vanessa said she packed a bag and left 2 nights ago, told Derek she needed space to think, and hasn't texted back since. Vanessa's panicking. Derek's spiraling. Aunt Rachel told people Lexi's gone on a solo journey to reconnect with herself. Spoiler, that's not what happened. Vanessa called me crying, asking if I'd seen Lexi or heard from her. I hadn't. Still haven't. But I do know this. Lexi's smart, and deep down, she knew. She just didn't want to look. Now she has to. And me? I'm driving. I don't know where exactly. Just away. I put some stuff in the trunk, the few things I didn't leave behind at Mika's place. I turned my phone on Do Not Disturb and played Fleetwood Mac on repeat. Because Greg's not the only one with taste, thank you very much. I keep thinking about that car. The Civic. Rolling into that wedding like a Trojan horse packed with generational resentment. I keep thinking about what Lexi said in that porta potty. "You're a coward." And maybe I was. For a long time. I was the quiet one. The fixer. The designated extra at every family photo shoot. The guy holding the lights so they could shine. But I'm not holding anything anymore. No more guilt. No more folding chairs at other people's big days. I'm driving now. Windows down. Breeze in my face. No destination. Just away. And yeah, maybe I burned a bridge. But the truth? I built that bridge. I built every damn step of it with silence and patience and showing up for people who never showed up for me. So if it had to burn, let it blaze. I'm not going back. And if I do, I won't be the same person they left at the kids' table.